These aren't just your ordinary tables you'd make for scatter terrain in your games. These touch on all different kinds of techniques, and I'm going to show you how to make them this week on Tabletop Witchcraft. Hey there, and welcome back to Tabletop Witchcraft. This week, I'm going to show you how to make these fun, modular little tables that are packed with detail, but also tie into my next epic craft here on the channel, which has over 130 hours of design and craft work into it. It's absolutely incredible, and it's all done. It's ready to go. You don't want to miss it. It's coming out in 2 weeks here on Tabletop Witchcraft. Now, I'm going to explain to you how these tie into that in just a second, but what I do want to say is that these little tables offer a lot of different techniques that you have to put into them, and they're great beginner crafts to learn how to work with resin, texturing foam to look like wood, painting foam to look like marble, and so on. Another really cool feature is that they are modular, so the tops come apart, so you only have to remake the top, not the base, so you can make a whole bunch of different tables here. And now let's talk briefly about the next epic build here on the channel and how this ties into it. You see, you can buy these plans right now on itch.io, link down below for $1. You're going to help the channel out, but you're going to get, let's see, what's underneath this question mark. You see, I made a couple of maps and stuff that go on these tables that you'll get, and you can paint up and put on the table. But underneath here is something that you might call a set of plans that is an early concept design of what the epic build really is. So for $1 and about 30 seconds from now, you can see the next epic build and you don't have to wait. These plans also tie into something else that's pretty darn epic, and that's coming out in a few weeks as well. I'm going to announce what that is later in the video, so make sure you watch the whole thing so you don't miss out. Now, if you want to help support the channel, you can also head over to Firelight Fables Candle Company and enter TWC10 at checkout. It'll get you 10% off your whole order, and a small kickback will come to me to support the channel. Alright, if you're ready, let's go grab some supplies and let's get crafting. Okay, so I like to kick off my videos with a nice candle from Firelight Fables Candle Company. The ambiance and the smell is just something I really enjoy when I'm crafting. Now down below, itch.io, again, get you these plans. You can have these little maps that I drew to put on your table, but you'll also get a peek underneath that question mark, which will be, again, the concept drawing for the next epic build that's coming out in just 2 weeks here on the channel. You'll notice I used a thick piece of foam here. It's because I don't want to go all the way through with the nail that the foam is going to rotate on, because obviously you'll have that peeking through the top of the table, and we don't want that. You might also notice that if you do pick these plans up, that some of the things are different. It's only because I've added things to the plan that I find I really could have used. It would have been more helpful if they were added to the plan. So once I finish these videos, I always go back to the plans and update them and make them even more awesome for you guys for when you're crafting. Now we've all done it. I actually had the camera off when I thought I was filming this part, but just rotate that on the edge of the table when you go to cut that, and just be careful, obviously, that you don't cut yourself. And this tool has become one of my favorite crafting tools, this sander right here. I use it big time in the epic craft coming out here in a couple of weeks. So it's something you might want to consider picking up. If you want to pick up any of the products you see in this video, all the Amazon product links can be found in the description below. And these are a couple examples of the things that I've added. Some of these marks on here, which will help you lay out the bands for the table, as well as where the 1/4 inch marks are for the wood. If you're enjoying this video and my channel, please consider hitting that subscribe button down below. Alright, now a technique I like to do is, yes, use super glue when I'm working with foam. It's because it does melt it. You want to use just a little and then quickly hit it with this Insta-Set to keep it from eating through the foam. It gives it a really cool look when you're working with banding. It looks like the big bolts or whatever kind of have eroded and pushed into the metal. It's just a little, I don't know, detail that I like adding. In case you're wondering, this grit is a 220 grit sandpaper. Just pop some magnets in there to make these interchangeable. Alright, now this was a table that I was super excited to make a live edge wood table. Yeah, I don't know, just gave me the opportunity to really just freehand this a little bit with the X-Acto knife and do some sculpting, which was nice. Don't forget, I just got off of straight crafting, close to, I'd say, 80 hours of crafting on the Epic build. So to be able to just take the scalpel and carve this base to look like a tree stump really was relaxing, I gotta be honest. We want to rough this edge up just to look like bark. You can get a lot of inspiration by just going online and Googling live edge wood tables. Alright, this was a really cool product that I got from Army Painter, and it really did a great job sealing the foam. It did not eat through it at all. That was their claim to fame, and I'll tell you, it doesn't. It's thick, it provides a nice coating, and I'm a huge fan of using this. I'll definitely see if I can get my hands on some more of it. Okay, let's take a quick break to talk about this week's video sponsor, Legend of Keepers 5e Reverse Dungeon. It's a crowdfunding campaign being launched by Art of the Genre for a 5e compatible campaign book and STL miniatures based on the Legend of Keepers video game by Goblin Studio. The Legend of Keepers 5e Reverse Dungeon campaign book is a 350-page tome containing 4 unique dungeons, 24 playable heroes, 50+ playable monsters, and 12 notorious monster bosses. Players can choose to either play as the monsters, defending their dungeon from marauding heroes, or take a more classical approach and control the heroes doing the marauding. The crowdfunding campaign will also offer over 100 STL miniatures based on the heroes, monsters, traps, and scenery from the campaign book. Sculpted by Lazy Squire Games, these gorgeous miniatures will be delivered within 1 month of the campaign's conclusion in both supported and unsupported STL formats. You can check out this campaign now on Kickstarter, which I'll have a link to in the video description below. Alright, now as far as the painting techniques go, you can look up pretty much any wood painting technique. We're basically going to start with the darker brown, working our way up to tans, and then just doing some dry brushes over it. I've got other videos on the channel that show that technique. Now again, the plans, if you pick them up, you're going to be able to just basically grab some color pencils, color in these maps however you want. I actually had, this is like an early morning when I was crafting this, I had a little coffee. I'm like, you know what, let's just dip this thing in there and age it up a little bit. So, and in case you're wondering, no, that's not milk in my coffee. It's not going to get nasty. I don't put milk in my coffee. So, yeah, it turned out well. A little bit later in the video, I just went and used black coffee on a separate piece. And again, it was just about the same. Now, in my temple series, I did this marble technique. I was a big fan. It came out well. It looked very nice. So I just stuck with something that I was comfortable with. And, yeah. To break up the, I guess, the solid gray piece, just watered down a little black paint and blotched it on there. Alright, so I was on the fence with how the grain and the knot was going to look on this live edge table. Really, you just want to play with it. Again, go online, look at some pictures, and yeah, just kind of start painting. Worst comes to worst, you don't like it, you could always prime it again and start over. Once you're done though, I found that adding some lines to really represent the grain in the wood, which was recommended by Rick, one of my patrons, while I was doing it at night, really helped to bring out the illusion of the grain in that wood. And here's a list of the colors. And the nice thing again is that you put all that time into the base. Because we have magnets, the tops just pop off, and it's really, the tops are the easiest part to make on these. Now, to have this really look like marble, I'm taking a little super clear and I'm literally painting it on. It took about, I'd say, 24 hours for it to cure. You want it to cure in about 72 degrees, so I had to bring it up from my basement. And I was really in love with how shiny and glossy they looked. A couple pieces from Hearst Arts. And oh yeah, so here's my straight black coffee. that I put on the map. I thought that came out pretty nice. And I wanted to just roughen up these edges here, make it look a little old, so we're gonna burn some holes on the side of it. Obviously, be careful. Pin's gonna get hot on you. I have ice hands, by the way. Like I can touch anything. My hands are always freezing cold. All right, so we got a little war room table, a bunch of pins, a map. How are we gonna invade the castle? You know, that's what I love, the creativity. You just kind of do what you want, roll with it, and we got a little blue versus red action going on here. All right, so I pulled this resin out of my trash can. I was all done. It was maybe, I don't know, an hour or so later. And I went to go glue this Her Starts mug onto the table. And I'm like, oh, well, if it's still, you know, flowable, the super clear, I'll add some. And yeah, that's what I did. Again, little details, something I love to do. And this was just a little device, I don't know what you want to call it. In pool, it'd be called the bridge, right? If you know, leave me a comment down below. It's just something that the generals, I guess, would move the pieces on the table around with. Alright, so I did have second thoughts about gluing this map down just because of all the marble work on this. Again, I did all these tables in just over a day, so, and that was including the bases. So in one crafting session I really could remake all these. And I want to add some gold here. I literally went into one of my boxes of crafts and had a couple bits of pieces of gold piles that broke off, slapped those on there, good to go. Alright, and then to just add some really fun, kind of almost unexpected detail would be just a little flowers from Diorama Recipe. We'll add it to the jug on the table, and you'd be surprised how many people notice that one little detail in the craft. Alright, so you can see just how versatile these little tables are and how much fun they can be making them your own by the use of Her Starts cast pieces that I've used or anything else you have laying around in your shop. Now, I did mention that there was another cool hidden surprise with this set of plans. Again, you can grab them for $1 down below at itch.io, and you're going to support the channel, and at the same time you're going to get to see what the next epic build is like in the next 30 seconds if you haven't done it already. But the cool thing with these is that they're also going to be used in the next module that I've been working on with DM Scotty, Gareth from the DMG Info, and my brother. We've put a ton of time into this module. The artwork is fantastic. The storyline, incredible. Keep an eye out over there for that. And make sure you start telling everybody that Tabletop Witchcraft has another epic build coming out, because it is epic. It is epic. I've got a lot of collaborators that have helped me with this video, and I'm just really excited to see everybody's reaction. If you don't mind, head over to Patreon. Consider supporting me over there. It's support there that really helps fund the channel. And until next time, I will see you around.